Hey folks, it is Thursday, May 23rd. The time right now is 5:21 p.m. and the temperature is around 25 degrees Celsius. And I am here on Front Street West. And there's a look at Union Station across the street. And the CN Tower. And there's the Royal York Hotel just on the right. Cross over to the south side of Front Street here. And in this one, I'm going to head to the east along Front Street over to Yonge, and then I'll head south down to a street called the Esplanade. And there's a number of patios right around the corner from Yonge and the Esplanade, and we'll check those out. I think patio season is officially upon us, although it has cooled down a bit since earlier in the day. I went out doing a live stream and I kind of regretted not putting on sunscreen. There's a herd of people heading south from the financial district. And that's a look north up Bay Street. And welcome to the Gong Show that is driving in Toronto. You'd be hard-pressed to find a major intersection where people don't block the crossing and get stuck in the middle of it. Look at this situation, all because this moron was too impatient to wait for it to be clear before entering. And now you've got people walking behind. Good stuff. But sure, let's go ticket cyclists in Hyde Park. Oh, good luck to that ambulance. Getting to where it needs to go. Of course, let's try to be a bit more positive on the rest of this one. You really gotta have cameras in these intersections just firing off big time tickets to these morons. And we are heading east on Front Street West. And that there is the Dominion Public Building. And that's a 5-story building in the Beaux Arts neoclassical style that was built between 1926 and 1935. So it sounds like maybe Metrolinx was behind it. It was originally a Federal Customs clearinghouse. And later it was home to the Canada Revenue Agency. And back in 2017 it was sold to a private interest. And they proposed building a couple of towers rise up from out of the property, the facade would be maintained. And the plans were for something like 9,000 square meters of retail space, along with a boutique hotel. And it would have been 45 and 49 stories. And I think the idea was for them to be condos, but I haven't heard much on that proposal in several years. So if you know what's going on with it, let me know down in the comments. It's certainly a very grand building, and it's really interesting how it curves along Front Street. And there's the Hockey Hall of Fame. And a very slender One King West. It's a Harry Stinson project. Here's Yonge Street. And what do you know? Right on cue. I can't even see the timer on the other side. There we go. That second driver. That's really egregious. How the hell do you get stuck there? And just up ahead is Banksy Park. You're done. You don't even know what. And this is the Meridian Hall, originally known as the O'Keefe Center, and later the Hummingbird Center, and then soon after that, the Sony Center for the Performing Arts. But we're going to head south down Yonge Street to where the Esplanade starts. There's a plaque commemorating the Performing Arts Center. And that area over there is known as the South Core. And this walk will take us through the St. Lawrence neighborhood. And where that construction is just up ahead used to be the bus terminal, but that was relocated into the base of those towers over there, CIBC Square. And to look up the street incorrectly referred to sometimes as the longest in the world, Yonge Street. And this is where the Esplanade begins. It's a little over a kilometer, I think 1.2 kilometers in length. There's the third phase of CIBC Square going up, right where that old bus terminal used to be. And it looks like they have half of the lanes on Yonge Street to the south of here closed. So this is the Esplanade. There's a Flatiron style building. So I'm curious to see how busy the patios are coming up. They always used to be busy on Fridays after the workday, but not as many people work downtown as they used to on Fridays. I think Thursday there's a lot more people in the office. And later this year, this part of the Esplanade will be reconfigured. The city will be installing a sewer main and water main. And between here and George Street, we'll be adding a protected bidirectional bike lane. There's look up Scott Street. Urban Maharajas Indian Restaurant and Bar. And there is the Novotel. During the pandemic, I believe that served as a shelter. And there were plans to put two 39-story towers up above it. A hotel portion would be maintained. It would be mixed use. But I think that's since been pared down to just a single tower. There's the Keg, a popular chain steak restaurant. Shoeless Joe's. It'll be interesting to see that development go up. I think they're maintaining this whole facade here. And this has been a mainstay of this area for over 45 years. The old spaghetti factory. I have not been there since I was in high school back in the 90s. I think that chain is from Vancouver. If you're feeling like some fresh spaghetti, that could be the spot. There's Cathedral. A number of these businesses have changed over the years, but some of them have remained fairly constant. Here's a few. Scotland Yard. $2 off all doubles on Thursdays. And of course the beer market. This used to be very lively on a Friday or Saturday night. There was a big dance floor and a small stage. I've heard things have died down a bit there. And the beer market over on King West is closed. Still plenty of great spots on the patio. And here's Goose Island. This opened up several years ago and it's connected to the beer market inside. And this building has an Easter egg, which I've shown in prior videos, but we can go check it out again. There it is. Legend has it that's an original Banksy. Don't seem to have this little patio area opened. And just south of here is the foot of Church Street. You could make it a drinking game, how many times crossings get blocked. Like, what's your thought process? Now you're going to go out into traffic and block everyone trying to get through? There's impatient people honking. Go block it! Oh, well, that was the stretch with all the patios. Quite like this building here. Its red brick facade. Well, I think there's another patio just up here on the left called Say What. It's a beer garden. Food, nitro cold brew coffee, and some bartenders. Well, I'm certainly never going to be hired there. It's a really neat little space. And I imagine adding the bike lanes will really help this part of the Esplanade feel a little more cozy. And hopefully it diverts some of this traffic. You'll see how they've reconfigured the road just east of here. Well, welcome to the St. Lawrence neighborhood. It's about 8 square kilometers. There's about 44,000 residents who call this home. And there's the star of the show, the St. Lawrence Market. I was there on the weekend having a P-mail bacon sandwich. That would have been on Sunday. There's also a Sunday's antiques market. Well, not really antiques, it was more of a general kind of flea market with anything and everything. A lot of clothes. And just random knickknacks. Knacks? Good pronunciation, Johnny, in that spot. Not sure when exactly the permanent building on the north side of Front Street will open, replacing this temporary structure. And this here is Lower Jarvis. Which just north of here, north of Front Street, is just Jarvis Street. We'll cross over to the much more pleasant south side. Hey, look. More people who can't drive. If I was mayor, I think the first thing I would do is stick a bunch of cameras in every intersection and ticket the hell out of these people. Or just deploy some cops. But I guess pulling people over and writing them tickets isn't really going to relieve the congestion. Like, what is this person doing? You think I'm blowing this out of proportion? It is literally every intersection. There's a series of linear parks along this portion of the Esplanade. And you'll notice the Esplanade here has been reconfigured. There's a dedicated bus lane. And this is George Street, so this is where the two-way bike lanes appear. More impatient people honking back there. But only buses are to go on that red lane. It's really much more quiet and peaceful. And that is a pretty awesome view of the skyline. I used to live in this neighborhood, just over at Princess and Longboat Avenue. This here on the right is David Crombie Park. And that takes up 1.6 hectares of Front Street between Jarvis and Berkeley, or I guess Hahn Place. It features a number of playgrounds, a basketball court, there's the dog off-leash area, and a wading pool. And a number of these buildings here are co-op units. And it's named after former Mayor David Crombie, who played a role in the development of this neighborhood. And another familiar name who did that was Jane Jacobs. That restaurant has been there for a very long time. I remember having patio pizza on that patio. Someone almost got nailed with a frisbee. This is all new. There used to be car dealerships where those condos are. This is Lower Sherbourne Street. There's bike lanes here that connect down to the waterfront. I think it was Not Just Bikes on one of his streams when he was visiting Toronto who commented that these are some of the better executed bike lanes in the city. And it's good to see this kind of design has been incorporated along College Street through Little Italy, as well as on Bloor Street now through the Annex and Wellington Street. Venture up into this little park space. Oh, that's new. That space in front of the condo, that's pretty nice. And this street here is Princess, just south of here is Longboat Avenue. lived in a 3-bedroom townhouse with a couple of friends. That's where I first moved to downtown. That would have been around 2004 or 5. That sign is fairly new. There's the community center and a junior and senior public school just up here on the left. There's the St. Lawrence Community Center.
Yes.
More playground. Sadly, the bike lane is all torn up. But in recent years, it's been connected through Parliament Square Park coming up to Mill Street, providing a continuous east-west bikeway. There's the Market Lane Public School. The Pavilion Photo Exhibition.
Look, there's just anything.
This is such a well-executed neighborhood. This construction hoarding has been blocking much of our view of some of the retail and cafes and shops on that side of the street. There's a big no-frills supermarket just to the north of here. And this street here is Han Place. But just north of here, it is Berkeley Street. There'll be a subway station just north of here. Hey, do you not know how stop signs work? That Uber didn't even slow down. And this is Parliament Square Park. And here's the new connecting bike lanes between Mill Street and the Esplanade. Previously, you would have to hop up onto this path. And straight ahead is the Distillery District. That's a big draw. I've done a number of videos through there. And in the fall, when the trees aren't so covered in leaves, this is quite the view of the skyline. There's Mill Street on the other side. And the Distillery District here is named after the Gooderham and Worts Distillery that used to be located here. I'm going to save walking through here for another day. We're going to head north up Parliament a few blocks, and I'll catch a bus up to Castle Frank Station. There you can see that cycle track that'll lead you past the Distillery District into the Canary District. And it'll connect you all the way over to Bayview Avenue. If I move my legs well, I could probably catch that 65 Parliament bus up at the next stop. I could have caught it back there, but that would have made this video a little on the short side. But this is north up Parliament Street. On the very east end of the St. Lawrence neighborhood. I don't think there's a bus stop here at Front Street. Maybe a combination of this traffic congestion and me hoofing it and get me to the stop. There's where they're building Corktown subway station. Right at King and Berkeley. That's quite a massive staging ground. Part of the Ontario line. On the right is the old Consumers Gas Water Purification House, now serving as 51 Division of the Toronto Police. I'm going to scooch ahead and get to the bus stop, so I hope you enjoyed this one. Starting in front of Union Station, walking along the Esplanade through the St. Lawrence neighborhood. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my YouTube channel membership and Patreon down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. And there is my chariot. Here at King and Parliament. I'm going to take this up to Castle Frank. So, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.
Station.
It's not. Here, you go first. Yoink.